Howdy, folks. How we doing today? Episode number 31 of Around the Feld. Here with me today is my partner in crime, Colin.
Yo, did you move south during this week and come back? Where'd that accent come from?
Yeah, no, that was pretty bad. I don't know. I'm trying to change it up a little bit, bring a little different energy in each pod.
I like the juice.
But it was a fail and a miss. Hit a swing and a miss. But we're not a baseball podcast.
It's not the first time you swung and missed either, so it's fine.
Yeah, I did. No. Never. Me? Never.
Yeah.
I've never swung in this.
But yeah, Reagan, we got a good slate this week, especially the primetime games. After last week, it was a brutal primetime slate. We got Cincinnati-Baltimore on Thursday, and then the game that everyone's looking forward to.
The Jets
Eagles,
and the Bills.
No, shut the fuck up.
Giants command.
No. Eagles, Chiefs, Monday Night Football. Little teaser. That might be our big bet of the week. It might be.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, let's start out with some news, Reagan. Some big news coming out of Cleveland today. Watson out for the season with a broken bone in his throwing shoulder, and DTR is set to start. Reagan, on a year in which the Browns went all in, we've talked about it, they lowered his cap hit down to $19 million, and then for the next 3 years, it's going to be north of $60. The Browns are in trouble, not just in the short term, but in the long term.
Yeah, man, it's a damn shame. I feel bad for the Browns. I mean, I'm actually shocked they went with DTR also. I thought P.J. Walker was doing a fine job. I mean, it wasn't killing him.
Play the Rook.
Play the Rook. I guess, but I mean, this is a team with playoff aspirations, and the Rook did not look good. P.J. Walker didn't do much, but he definitely didn't kill him in his time. But, I mean, I guess the Rook was the one getting all the buzz in the preseason, so we'll see. I know he's super athletic. Because he was at a UCLA, I believe.
Yep. This guy knows college ball.
Yes.
You said you feel bad for the Browns. I do not. They dug themselves this hole, and now
I
they
feel
have
bad
to
for them because it hits home. You know,
I feel bad.
It hit homes to me because you got the quarterback, and you're like, oh, we got the quarterback with the great defense, and although Watson's obviously, we've been going back and forth on it. Is he really that good at this point? He's still a lot better than Dorian Thompson-Robinson or P.J. Walker at this point, so.
Yeah, I feel bad for Browns fans. I don't feel bad for the Browns organization because when you committed this contract to this guy, I mean, you screwed the whole league, and I've gone on my rants. The worst contract in NFL history.
He has gone on his rants.
And you went all in this year, and they were 6-3, but a 6-3 in which if you watched them play, it wasn't a championship formula, in my opinion. I don't think they were any threat to win a Super Bowl, but could they make some noise potentially with that defense? Now that Watson's done for the year, their window, and with Chubb being out for the year earlier on, that killed them as well.
Yeah.
Their window seems to be closing, and I'm sorry, but if you're paying Deshaun Watson $63 million against your cap, I don't think you're going to have a Super Bowl caliber roster.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
Ken Dorsey fired as the Bills' offensive coordinator. Reagan, what do you think about this?
I was a little surprised because I think it's more than the offensive coordinator. I think this team's honestly lacking the weapons because while I still, obviously Diggs and Kincaid are great in the receiving game, I still feel like they're missing that third weapon in the receiving game. And also, Ken Dorsey's not telling Josh Allen to force the ball downfield in the double coverage. I mean, Josh Allen has 11 interceptions this year, man. That is not a Ken Dorsey issue. His play calls aren't, hey, Josh, force the ball in the triple coverage. I don't know, man. I think that this team has bigger issues, and I think a lot of it has to deal with the fact that as soon as Matt Milano went down, this defense has looked like a shell of themselves. So. Yeah,
I agree with you. I don't think Dorsey was the problem. I mean, people speculated that him and Dable don't necessarily like each other because after the Bills-Giants game, they kind of gave a quick handshake and left. And I don't know how true this is, but rumors were circulating that McDermott likes to get too involved with the offense. He's a defensive-minded coach, but his fingerprints are all over it, and it frustrated Dable. Maybe that's why they have some beef, and maybe Dorsey had a similar experience. Maybe they just weren't getting along, but I agree. I don't think Dorsey was the problem for this team at all. The defense has been struggling, like you mentioned. The turnovers are a problem. It's not even just Allen throwing picks. It seems like they put the ball on the ground a lot. So, I mean, I don't know. He just seemed to be the scapegoat because, I mean, obviously you can't move on from Allen, but it'll be interesting to see. Because now they have, what's his name? Joe Brady is now calling the offense, and we saw what he did when he was in Carolina.
Sick at LSU.
Sick at LSU when you had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson, but then he went to Carolina with Matt Rule, and that was terrible. He got fired quickly.
I don't know if you saw, but the Bills are now minus 230 to miss the playoffs. So
that's crazy,
Vegas
man.
is expecting them to miss.
Crazy.
Because, I mean, not obviously it's a big game this week, but, looking ahead at their schedule, they still got the Cowboys, they still got the Chiefs, they still got the Eagles.
They lost a lot of games they should have won, and they should have lost probably 2 more games. Because they could have lost lost the Giants very easily.
That was the thing we were talking about with the Jets in the beginning of the year. Like, the AFC East has a tough schedule this year, and they had their tough part in the beginning of the year. And now the Bills were supposed to, go, I don't know, 8-2, 7-3 in the beginning, and then they could afford to get some of these losses. But 5-5 down the stretch, it's going to be tough for this team to catch up to some of the teams in front of them.
Especially in such a loaded AFC.
Yeah. What helps them is, though, they still get to play Miami again. And they have the tiebreaker already. So.
And they got to beat the Jets this week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
almost
a huge
seems
game for both teams.
A must-win in Week 11.
I'd say for both teams. No, for both teams, it's a must-win.
Yes. You're at that point where you got to start winning games. All right. Leighton Vander Esch out for the season, potentially career with the neck injury. I mean, if you saw...
Yeah, that's what Jerry Jones was saying on the radio.
Yeah, if you've seen Vander Esch play, you know he has that neck brace.
He's a stud, too. I mean, he's a stud linebacker.
He's had neck injuries in the past, and, you know, that's like the one injury, and the head-neck area you just don't want to fuck around with. So it's a damn shame because...
Well, there was the Giants running back, David Wilson, you guys drafted years ago, and his career got ended short. I mean, that's a first-round running back, and you got like 2-3 years out of him, and then he had to retire because of neck injuries. It's just something you can't mess around with. So.
No, man, that's why it was so sketchy with Jones. But it's a shame for Vander Esch. I mean, after they didn't pick up his fifth-year option, he came out and proved to them that he deserves another contract. And very rarely does a team decline a fifth year and then re-sign that player. I mean, we just saw it with Jones, but it never happens.
And Jones, it was there was reasons because of the question marks going into his fifth year. Like, Vander Esch, outside of the health, like, he's a stud. So
yeah, well, he was a stud as a rookie, but then he kind of, took a step back, but then he kind of got back to that same caliber player. So damn shame for him. Hope everything's good. Michael Carter, released by the Jets. And apparently
picked up by the Cardinals already.
Oh, all right. I didn't see that. Apparently...
So they used one of their top waiver claims on him, which I thought he'd get scooped up because he does have pass-catching ability, but... I don't know if that's a big move. It's just more so you were talking about it in the beginning of the year about how he was so bad. So I was like, I just think it's funny to mention it, but it's really not a big move.
It's not a big move, but
it is causing
rifts in the locker room, though, Reagan. That at least what I was seeing on Twitter, a lot of guys are upset about it.
Yeah, because he's a good locker room guy.
Yeah, they're talking to the media and guys in the background.
Yeah, if you watch Hard Knocks, too, he had personality.
Well, I would have rather them cut Dalvin Cook, but you know what? For you Brees fantasy owners, that is huge because Michael Carter was getting a lot of third down work, so it looks like Brees's involvement's going to go up even more.
Absolutely.
So
the Steelers opened up Pat Fryermuth's 21-day window. Now this offense has been struggling. Could the return of Pat potentially give this offense a boost?
Of course. I mean, that's a big red zone target right there.
And he's been a security blanket.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's something they're kind of missing right now, especially when Deontay was out too. So, but no, I mean, I think that's a huge element for this offense that they're missing.
Fields looks like he's going to be back on Sunday, Reagan. They got Detroit this week. I don't think it's going to be enough.
No, I don't think it's going to matter.
What is this going to look like for the Bears the rest of the season with Fields coming back?
I don't think much different, man. Like, maybe for their over-unders, like, it'll be better for fantasy. Like,
I have Fields
from an NFL point. I don't think it's going to really change much. Like, I really don't think this team. I don't think he's does that much more for this team. Like, with the lack of talent they have on offense, and then how bad their defense is, that he's going to really like improve this offense that much more in this team. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a lot better than Badgett, but like, I just think this team has a lot of issues that he can't solve, especially when he can't pass the ball.
Yes.
Efficiently enough for
NFL
standards. But
he can keep him in games when he just goes out there and plays and doesn't think, which, you know, that's what he kind of did last year. And then beginning of this year, everyone was talking about the struggles of Justin Fields, and it seemed like he was thinking too much.
And that's the thing, because he can keep him in games, but he can't do it every week, and this defense is never going to step up and you know what I mean?
Not.
So it's like,
I mean,
unless he's like Superman every week, they're not going to win games.
I'm going to go out and say that Fields is playing for his job. If he plays really well down the stretch, maybe Chicago, even if they land the number one pick, I find it unlikely, but maybe they sell it to the highest bidder and they get an absolute haul of draft picks and continue to roll with Fields. Again, I think it's unlikely, but he's playing for his job, or maybe he's auditioning for teams to pick him up and for his new destination next year. But
it'll certainly be interesting.
Huge stretch for Justin Fields. And last but not least, T. Higgins out again for Thursday Night Football in a huge divisional matchup against the Ravens in what is a huge game for Cincinnati, being last in the division. Does this hurt their chances, Reagan?
I mean, he's
very. Doesn't help him.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't help him. I mean, I think he's mainly ruled out because it's a Thursday night game. I think he would have played if it was Sunday, but obviously it doesn't help. But I mean, we saw this offense was still able to move the ball without him, so yeah, it'll be interesting.
Big Jamar Chase game.
I guess Tyler Boyd also historically plays a lot better when Higgins doesn't play. Makes sense. One less mouth to feed, so more opportunities. But Tyler Boyd, sneaky start in fantasy this week, I'd say, with Higgins being ruled out.
I like it. Okay, Joe, what do we got for questions?
All right. Oh, breaking news, NBA stuff, but Draymond Green is suspended 5 games in the NBA after his actions on the court last night.
He should have stuck to football. He was a goat at Michigan State. A goat.
Yeah, that was a hilarious clip, by the way. But let's get into questions. Start off, Jared Crampton.
Cranny.
Hey, Jerry.
Why do we think we've been seeing such an influx of bad trades recently? The Russell Wilson one, Watson, picks for Lance, and of course, the hilarious Panthers trade.
Well, you mentioned all trades that dealt with quarterbacks. It just shows how desperate every franchise is for a franchise caliber quarterback. So teams are willing to overpay. I mean, it's just how it is. You're willing to give up many, many first-round picks if you get a franchise caliber signal caller, because it's the most important position. Look what C.J. Stroud has done for the Texans. In 1 year, they became a dumpster fire. Now they're competitive and one of the most fun teams in the league because Stroud is elevating everyone around him. Now, if you give up all those picks and you swing and miss, it's too early to tell for Bryce Young. But if Bryce Young doesn't pan out and Carolina give up DJ Moore and 2 firsts and 2 seconds, it's going to set him back several years. So teams are going to overpay for a quarterback, man. Just how it is, because you can't win a Super Bowl without at least a good quarterback with phenomenal talent around him, similar like Jimmy
Not in
G.
today's NFL. Back
Jimmy
in the
G,
day, you could get away with it with a good defense.
Yeah, but I'm saying
running
like,
game.
But
But yeah,
Jimmy Garoppolo got to
Peyton
the Super
Manning
Bowl
did it.
with the Niners, and he was one throw away from being a Super Bowl champ. Like, it's very difficult to win it without an elite quarterback. So that's why teams are willing to pay the price for it.
yeah. I mean, I don't really have much more to add. You kind of hit the nail with the hammer.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, it was pretty spot on, man. I mean, there's not much to debate there. It's just a quarterback league, so obviously you're going to overpay for a premium position. So
Well, the last time we saw like a team win a Super Bowl with bad quarterback play was probably Super Bowl 50 when Peyton Manning was like on his last year.
Yeah.
yeah, but even then, it's like.
But it was Peyton Manning. He wasn't
Yeah.
the same
Yeah.
player. Like the arm
still,
talent still wasn't there. But
It's
he
still
was
like-
smarter than everyone else in the
Yeah,
field that he
no,
was able to
that's
make
true.
it work.
And all
Not
the-
every player has the mind of Peyton Manning.
Yeah, probably bad Peyton Manning was probably better than still half the players in the league, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the Broncos, is the Broncos defense a bad matchup in fantasy? Fantasy apps say they are great, but I think those numbers are skewed because of the Dolphins massacre.
Well, yeah, obviously the numbers are going to be skewed because when you give up a 70-point game,
It's not good.
it'll skew it. But yeah, Jared, I actually do think this defense is starting to click. Clearly, they kept Mahomes under 20 points both times against the Chiefs. So the first time was 19, and then I think the
3
second
games in
time
a row they've held teams below 20, and that
Yeah.
was the Chiefs twice and Buffalo. So
Yeah.
that's a pretty impressive feat.
So I'd say at this point you definitely have to temper expectations. I mean, I'm still like you're still starting your studs and like yeah, like if you have like a fringe running back that you're like debating between 2 guys and the other guy, maybe the matchup from the app says it's the Broncos are the better matchup. I think I'm reconsidering it now. I mean, this defense has clearly stepped up since the
They
bye
turned the
week.
corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people were targeting that Denver defense when they were taking player pops on Sundays. I mean, I know I was for our parlay, but I think that has gone away. I don't think you can necessarily.
No.
It's got to be a good matchup, but the way the defense is playing right now, it's you got to stay away.
And the Punishment King is back. Loser needs to bowl a 190. For every game, they must have a slice of pizza and a beer. They need to keep bowling until they hit a 190 or they reach 10 games.
So I guess it would just be me drinking 10 beers and eating 10 slices of pizza because
Yeah, I've
I'm
never-
not a good bowler already, and I just know the more beer and pizza I have, I'm only going to get worse. So
No, the sweet spot.
we'd have to lower it to like 150 or 160 or something because that's just like unachievable.
My best is like 180, but there was a good stretch. Like up until this year, I couldn't even get over 100, and then my buddy Dave Jahara taught me how to spin the ball, and I was able to like break
Spin the
break
bottle.
break 100. So yeah, I wouldn't bowl a 190 either. It'd be a lot of beer and pizza.
Unless
Plus,
maybe the bumpers are on. We play with the
If
bumpers.
we play with the bumpers, then come on, you gotta get 190. But
Yeah.
I mean, I just love how all the Felters just want us to get porked up. They want us to get ready for the winter.
Yeah, I didn't need these punishments to do that already. So,
Next up, we got Austin.
hey, Austie. Hey, Austie.
Hey, Austin.
Hey, Austie.
What are your guys' top 10 teams in the NFL right now?
Oh, damn.
Just
10?
yeah, right now, like off the bat.
In the NFC,
Are
Eagles.
we going order like in
No,
order?
no order,
no
just
That'll
10
take too
teams.
long.
All right.
Eagles, Cowboys, Niners, Lions. That's it from the
Okay.
NFC. The AFC, Ravens, Chiefs.
Baltimore. Oh,
I
you
said Ravens,
okay.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
No. Bengals,
You don't think they're a top 10 team?
Jacksonville. No,
Okay.
I think they're frauds.
What is that?
I'm
Seven?
not putting Miami in there either.
It's
That's
You
7.
need 3 more.
No, I thought that's 8.
7.
You said 4 in the NFC, and then you said
Three right
Baltimore,
now.
Kansas City,
Kansas City,
Bengals.
Bengals. That's 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick math.
Well, all right. You haven't said 1. I'm just going off of a list.
I have my fingers.
Well,
up.
I mean, the teams now are Miami 6-3.
I'll put Pittsburgh in
Jacksonville 6-3.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh 6-3.
Pittsburgh, Miami,
Cleveland
Okay, one
6-3. You have Seattle 6-3.
and Seattle.
Okay.
Those are my 10. I can't put Jacksonville. I just think they're frauds,
I'm
dude.
definitely going. I'm not putting Pittsburgh top 10. I'm going.
I am, dude. That defense is so
I'm
good.
going, yeah, but they get outgained every game.
I don't
So
care.
at some
Dude, a
point,
win's a
it's-
win.
At some point, it's going to catch up to
So
them.
who's your team to take out?
I like the first 7. I'm going to put Miami in.
Yeah, I put
Okay.
Miami in.
He's got Miami.
Oh, you did go Miami.
Yeah, he has
Yeah, I did.
Miami.
I'm putting Jacksonville over Pittsburgh.
Okay. That's your one that you.
Yeah,
That's
dude. I just
mine.
think I think the Jaguars are frauds. Like, their best win is against Buffalo, who
I can't
clearly
go
isn't who we
Cleveland.
thought they were, and it was when Jacksonville was there
Especially not now.
for weeks.
I
So,
don't wanna go
yeah.
Pittsburgh. I don't want to go Seattle either. I really don't want to go Pittsburgh or Seattle
All right. Well,
or Buffalo. Like you can't go Buffalo right now. I guess Pittsburgh sneaks in there at 10 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm looking at it. I like them better than Seattle. Like, I just don't think Seattle can beat good teams on
Okay.
a consistent basis.
They beat the Lions.
and to segue into the next thing, he just is not really a question, just a suggestion. He says that you guys should do a weekly power rankings.
Yeah, I think that's something we could put out on, like, the
we
website.
could do a power ranking.
And make, like, a cool graphic for Instagram.
We could do just our own personal top 5.
Yeah.
Something like
weekly.
that.
We
We
make
could
a
do that.
graphic.
Colin's A-list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can make a little graphic. If you guys combine 2 teams of the worst 8 teams, do they make a Super Bowl contender? And what teams are they?
No.
2 teams of the bottom 8?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't think so. I just don't think
Well,
so. 'Cause that would be the Panthers, the Giants, the Patriots, the Bears, the Packers,
The
Yeah.
Cardinals.
the Cardinals.
So what teams would you?
Who else is
combine?
there? Who else is there? We're forgetting.
Rams.
Rams and
Titans.
Titans. Yeah, no. Like, I think I could see maybe. No, because half those teams have terrible offensive. Like, all those teams have bad offensive lines.
No, but if you were combined every, it's only. 2
That's what I
teams.
mean.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you're still not going to have a good offensive line. So, like, a lot of these teams have terrible offensive lines. Most of them do not have good defenses. So, like,
Probably not. No.
and none of them really have great quarterbacks right now.
No, yeah, I don't think.
Like, what you combine the Patriots and the Giants? Like, who the fuck is playing quarterback for you?
I mean,
Yeah,
even
I
if
don't
you
think
want to
you would do
stretch
those
it, like
teams.
the Rams were probably the best of the bunch at 3-6, and
Now
it's
you
like
could probably make a decent.
they have their
defense,
flaws.
though, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I don't think because none of them have like good offensive lines. No, you couldn't. That's a good.
I
That's a
know,
good hypothetical.
Dexter
All right, let's see.
Donald would be kind of tough.
Yeah, no, that would be pretty.
But outside of that, like,
But they're still not going to score points.
Yeah, no.
they still can't block
who the hell?
anybody.
Who the hell? Yeah, who's
It'd
blocking?
be like the 2000 Ravens.
What would we say? The Titans, Cardinals,
We
Bears.
said them all, man. There's no way you
just-
build a championship
Yeah, no,
caliber
you
team.
can't.
No,
I mean,
you could build a playoff team, but not a
For
For
championship.
sure, a playoff team. I
But
would
like
say.
even playoff,
Yeah,
I'd
you
say
can
is
build a
like
playoff
kind of a
team.
stretch. You'd have to really like look at it, but I just can't see it. It also depends what division are they playing into and what conference.
Who would you guys start MVP candidate? C.J. Stroud or Justin Fields in fantasy?
This week,
I don't even. He didn't.
I'd
really
say.
clarify.
Well, for me, it's easy. This weekend going forward, I'm starting Stroud.
Yeah, you
like,
got to.
You just got to keep playing him until you can't play him. He seems like he's matchup proof. Fields I don't know. It's just like some weeks like when the running isn't there, he duds for you because he's just not getting it as a passer. And then the few times he's gotten it as a passer, the yards aren't there. It's just a lot of touchdowns. Like he's just too inconsistent for me. And I guess it really does depend on your team, like boom or bust. But like Stroud's been booming, so it's like I don't know.
Booming, baby.
What about you, Colin?
I don't know. It's weird because Fields was such a high pick this year, but like obviously he got
Well,
hurt.
Stroud wasn't picked at all either. You know what I mean? Like it's not even like there's no
nobody
capital.
Expected a
No.
rookie to
Well,
have
you
the
did say
production.
like when his rushing's there. I mean, like you mentioned, Reagan. I mean, not even necessarily the rushing was there. He had 2 games against Denver and Washington, but granted, that was Denver when they were really bad defensively, and then
Yeah.
it was Washington that everyone's torn him up through the air.
Yeah.
Where he dropped 28 and 32 fantasy points.
We saw.
With 4 passing touchdowns both games. But other than that, it was 15, 16, 11, 5.
That's what I'm saying. So,
So,
it's
like-
for me, it's easy. You just keep playing Stroud till you can't.
Yeah, the rushing just hasn't been
And
there.
there
for
might not
Fields
be
this
that point
season.
where you can't. So
Yeah, Stroud's a safer option.
if
right
you
now.
have Fields, I'd try to ship him away.
But Fields is total, like, he could totally boom, though, when you
Trade Fields away if you can. I would 100% trade him away. If you that's your
if
situation,
the
trade him
value's
away.
even there.
I'd still better than not. Like I don't believe in rostering 2 quarterbacks unless you need to.
I have Fields and Kyler Murray.
Yeah, well, but look at the 2 guys you're rostering right now. They both have been injured. You're doing it for a different reason. You're not just like
Yeah.
every week deciding between the 2. Like I think at this point, Fields
Well,
is
he
back.
will be coming up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So now you go and look at making a trade. At the time, it made sense because Kyler was also a stash all season on your IR, so you really weren't
No, I know,
rostering
yeah.
2 quarterbacks.
Well, I had Russell Wilson, and I just dropped him.
Yeah, it also depends on your format and your scoring. But in standard leagues, like unless
It
you have
depends how
like,
deep your bench is, too.
Yeah.
If you have 10 bench spots, you can stash.
well,
your
yeah, I'm
quarterback.
talking more like standard 5 bench spots. Like
I don't think I play in a league that has only 5. I think
Play in,
all
like,
my leagues,
most
even
of my leagues
redraft
are 5
leagues, are
bench
like
spots.
at
Yeah,
least 8.
I don't like
8
I don't
bench
like
spots.
large. I like small benches.
It's funny because I'll just keep Jalen Hyatt on my bench all year because that's my boy. But like, your bench doesn't need to go that deep in
you shouldn't be there.
redraft.
Exactly. So
All right, next we got Drock, our very own.
Drock.
Drock.
30 episodes in, boys. Congratulations.
Thanks.
50, you guys should rent
Drock.
out a bar to celebrate under Colin's econ majoring paycheck.
I didn't major in econ. I minored. You knew that. He's just fucking with me.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a good punishment for him. That works.
That's not a punishment. We're happy.
Yeah,
we're
in what,
celebrating.
in what
Punishment
fucking
for
world
your
is that-
pocket.
What fucking world is that on my tab?
Well, you are the econ major,
But
so
50 pods though, like renting out a bar would be pretty cool. If everyone paid their fair share, of course. You know, I'm not fucking biting the bullet, but
why?
a
What?
50 pod celebration, that'd be pretty cool.
Let's maybe 100. Let's not. 50's like
Coming
not.
up.
50's not a big enough milestone. Let's get to 100.
We're hitting 50 this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean we'll hit 100 this year too. Maybe.
Is T.
Nah,
Higgins
Well, I
worth-
said this season. Like I was
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about this season.
Okay. All right. I
Yeah.
see what
Within
you're
a
saying.
calendar
Come on,
year,
man.
yeah.
Oh.
we'll hit
Because
100.
if we
Come
hit,
on,
if
quick
we
math, buddy. You got it. Will we do it?
If we hit it in like the off season, it's not really going to be like.
Actually, we
that.
will not hit it in the calendar
No, yeah, 'cause
year.
We're doing 2
Yeah, it's
pods
not
a
gonna
It's
week.
be-
November right
Two
now.
Pods,
Yeah,
2
it's
pods a
obviously gonna
week.
be-
But think about it, when we started, it was August. We were
Sorry,
doing 2
I know
pods
quick
a
math's
week.
tough for you.
Yeah, but it's just not going to work out because we don't have the content in the summer to get 2 pods out a week.
That'll
So
probably
we
be
won't
like-
hit 100. We can do 50.
Guys, we'll never hit
No,
100.
we-
We're sorry.
50's
Colin's
gonna
ending it
happen.
for us. He's done.
What? Where'd you get that?
Just believe. We'll push out. We'll hit 100 in this calendar year every day. Maybe 2 pods if we have to.
All right. Well, what I was saying before I was cut off is T. Higgins worth selling because he is so injury prone.
I mean, yeah, he's worth selling, but I think it would be pointless to sell
Depends
him
on
right
the
now.
format. Like
It'd just be pointless because the value's not there. You'd be selling him at an all-time low. Like,
you can't, and a lot of trade deadlines are this week. I know my league's trade deadlines.
think
are
you
this
just gotta
week, so,
hold
like,
him.
You can't trade him in a week that he's. I mean, you could, but I don't really know. You're not going to maximize his value.
yeah, I'd just hold him at
And,
this point.
and if it's dynasty, I don't think he's worth selling right now. I mean, just hold him.
Yeah,
because
because you don't know what the situation's going to be. Because I'd say it's pretty safe to say he's done with the Bengals after this year.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to afford it.
I just think somebody's going to pay him the bag.
Future New York Giant, maybe.
Carolina Panther.
Something.
I think the Panthers are probably the leader in the clubhouse.
Bears. There's a couple teams that could sign him. All right, so what do we got next? Anything else from Drock?
Josh Dobbs is that dude. With that being said, Vikings money line this weekend is ... slam it.
Why are you guys saying that? Because you got the same hairline?
That's so fucked up, man. Joshua Dobbs has a disease where he can't grow
Yeah,
hair.
that's-
So does Dave. It's called balding.
Joshua Dobbs
Alopecia.
actually has a disease.
No, I know he
That's
does.
disrespectful to Joshua Dobbs.
And
Dave is just
anyone-
fucking balding.
And Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, like I don't know. I took Denver, so if that's actually your Drock lock, I guess I have to switch because I rock with my boy.
Rock with the Drock.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what Drock puts out before I make any more comments on it.
Name all teams that have a bird logo. Fuck the Eagles.
Eagles, Cardinals, Falcons, Seahawks.
He didn't give me a number, so.
There's Ravens. There's one more.
I just gotta go through divisions in my head and just think like I'm gonna get it eventually. I just
Cardinals,
don't wanna waste the
Falcons,
time.
Eagles, Ravens,
Falcons,
Seahawks. That might be it.
Let me get the number right
I
here.
think it's just 5, right?
1, 2, 3. It's 4.
Arizona,
5.
5, yeah. That's it.
5.
Yeah, okay, we got it.
Yeah, we got it.
Wow.
Good shit, guys.
Dave, what a question, man. That was a real...
Wow. That was a stumper.
What would we have done without that stumper?
And he had a punishment idea. 12 hours.
What, that question wasn't a big enough punishment?
IHOP, but he wrote I hope, so every pancake subtracts a half hour.
Those are some big fucking pancakes, bro. Like every time you go to IHOP, I mean, I haven't been there in years, but I remember used to go and get like you get the stack, and I get 4 pancakes, and I like couldn't finish them.
Oh, yeah. I think we could do one of those, something like that concept. There's definitely a good video in there. It'd just be hard to film it, but we'd have to like just put in like small segments and funny parts. But we'll figure out something like that.
We can dabble.
We can dabble.
Think about it.
Every idea is a good idea.
And we got Penn State Jared. So
yeah, you wanted to add another.
Jared Crampton, you added another one. Do you think the Jets cutting Michael Carter opens up the 2-minute drill for Brees?
Well, that's what I was saying before this. Definitely, he's just going to get more targets now. He's going to be the 3-down back that everyone wanted him to be. I mean, he's been getting more involved in the receiving game every week, so definitely a huge upgrade for you Brees owners out there.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I got Brees, so good
I
news.
would be pumped.
Good
yeah.
news. And Dalvin Cook's bun, so
Yeah.
I don't really think he's gonna carve into that role as much as Brees is.
At least not in the receiving game. Maybe he gets a few more carries now, but doubt it.
Right. And last but least, we got Dr. Hugh Chavez is back again.
Dr. Hugh
Are you
Chavez.
kidding me, bro?
Dr.
The
Hugh
clown is
Chavez.
back. The reason why I went dark for a month was because I was doing mission work in Uganda for individuals who are poor and less fortunate than us.
All right, respect that.
You also said that
I'm gonna need a
I
fact
want
check.
to act like a genius when the season is spiraled. But I was saying all of this before the Giants season started, going downhill in weeks 2 and 3, so that claim is inaccurate. For the record, I'm the one who came up with the idea to come out on the podcast by saying I would love to come on to the pod and talk about Danny Penny's struggles in primetime. But it seems like I didn't miss much in the time that I was gone, as the Giants went 1-4 in the month that I was dark. You're saying that you should draft a quarterback now, but that's not what you were saying the first few weeks of the season when you were defending Danny Penny's with all your little heart.
I explained all this, so like I don't know what he's
Even
fucking
with
saying.
Penny's still healthy, we both know that the Giants would still be a top 3 pick, and that is a fact. I may even argue that they would be 1-9 if Danny Penny's never got hurt. My question, how come Tyrod was able to win the same amount of games as Danny Penny's did this year in 4 fewer games as a starter? I'm just asking for a sincere apology, preferably on your hands and knees, that hashtag Hugh was right all along about one. Danny Penny's not being able to take the Giants anywhere this season. 2, that the Giants will be in a prime position to draft a quarterback when the year is over. You know I called this the beginning of the year, and the least you can do is say hashtag Hugh was right all along. I find it ironic that the freak behind the camera said, it's easy talking shit behind the camera. Never said behind the camera, because you're not behind the camera, you moron. When it isn't the same thing you're doing, buddy? Oh, looks like I got you, pal. So you were right. I should look in the mirror because I'm so fucking smart. I also respectfully declined the suck my nuts offer by Colin in the last video.
Are you done stroking your cock, Hugh?
Jeez, this guy is a fucking moron.
It took you
This
30
guy's
minutes.
fucking
He also
hilarious.
thinks it's the same thing. I'm not using a fucking fake alias to talk shit.
I
Like,
don't even want
Hugh,
I don't even want to give this clown the light. of day.
Hugh,
I'm not
please
That
come
is
on the
so annoying.
podcast. Our email is
No,
around dot the
We've tried
dot.
doing this
All right,
before.
let me. Hugh, please come on the podcast. It's around dot the dot sports.
You forgot.
What,
Phil.
dude?
You forgot. Phil.
Oh shit! All right, it's around thefeltsports.com. Period in between every word. Email us. We want to set it up. We'll have you do a voice call because at this point you got to come on because you're talking a lot of shit to the Giants fans, and I think the people want to hear this as a live debate. So if you're
He's not going to.
if you're not, as the freak over here saying, if you're not too afraid, come on the podcast too because I mean, it's one thing to type it, but it's another thing to hear it live on camera.
Nah, he's a bitch. He's a bitch.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, you're definitely right. I do think this team wouldn't have been good with or without pennies. But yeah, I mean, I'd say obviously they want to draft a quarterback now that the team doesn't have their quarterback.
Circumstances change when you're starting Tommy DeVito, Hugh.
Although I was
don't
saying,
understand why that's so difficult.
In fairness, I did agree with
skull.
you before the season started and before they signed Jones that they would have been better off just waiting for a quarterback and not paying Jones. But you know what? They didn't give him a crazy contract, so they can get away from it.
They couldn't have just moved.
We
Like
won a playoff
what
game.
quarterback were we gonna
He's
get?
moving on to play.
What quarterback
He's
were we
moving
gonna-
on to quarterback?
what quarterback were we
Well, how did it work out, fellas?
What
How'd it
quarterback
work
were we
out?
gonna play? Jones played well last year.
I understand,
He won
but
a
now
playoff game.
I understand that.
Like
But now
what,
you gave him.
what were you gonna do? You were picking 25th.
It's a lot easier
What were you
to
gonna
say
do?
that.
Offer him a
It's
one-year
lot
deal.
easier to say this now.
I mean, not really. I was saying that 4 years into his career, and then all it took was for one good year, and you're like, all right, he's legit. And now we're back where we were with him in the first 4 years.
And
Granted,
the
it's
team would have
injuries.
done that if they won them a playoff game.
I don't know, man. It's just
What
a
do you
weird
mean you
spot.
don't know?
The guy-
Because Jones didn't do shit for the first 4 years.
But
is
he's
my
still,
point.
Dude,
And then
no
you gave
team's
him the
moving
bag.
on after they make
I
the
understand.
playoffs
I
and
just
win
wouldn't
the
have
game.
given him the big contract. I would have given him another prove it deal and be like, show us you can do it again. I'm sorry, I have a
Well,
different
that's why
perspective.
You're not a GM.
And that's
Well,
why you are a
well,
GM?
That's why. But that so
No, but your
with
reason
with
is
that
trash.
thought process.
Why is my reasoning trash? I can't have a different opinion?
with that
No,
thought
you're
process?
just a Giants hater. You're
How am
gonna
I
say
a
that.
Giants hater?
With that thought.
How does it have to... How am I...
Can
what do you
I
mean-
fucking
Can you shut
talk?
the fuck
God
up,
damn
Reagan?
it! With that thought process, I don't think that Jones's agents would have accepted a deal like that. So then you run the risk of, okay, go test the market, and then it's like, who would have offered him? Like it's a what if. Like we never know. You know
You
what I
happy?
mean?
You got my dogs barking now.
Yeah, it's fine.
They should be barking.
But you know what I mean? No, it's like
Shut up. Let him talk.
They could have let Jones test the market because I don't think there was any way his agents were going to take a deal for a 1 year or 2 year prove it deal.
Yeah.
After what he just did, like that playoff game was historic. Like that wasn't going to happen. So then the Giants run the risk of, okay, if we let Jones test the market and he does sign somewhere else, what are we doing? Because we just won a playoff game. So now what? Tyrod's probably their best option at that point. You know what I mean?
Should have got Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, he's
that's
Aaron
what you
Rodgers
think, man.
wasn't in the cards for the Giants, but you know what I mean?
No,
though? Like,
that's what-
it's,
yeah.
it's a big
No, dude, it's
hypothetical.
definitely interesting. It's just different perspectives. But Hugh, like I said, please come on because it would definitely be interesting.
He ain't coming on.
He's not coming on, dude.
he's got no
He
balls.
makes a fucking fake alias. What makes you think he's gonna put his face in front of a fucking camera?
Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, that wraps up the questions, guys. So when we come back, we're going to break down the Week 11 games.
What's up around the Felters? If you're in need of any custom clothing, I know the brand for you, Masterpiece Designs. If you could think it, they could make it. Check them out on Instagram, and they'll make anything that you guys want.
Huge Thursday night game. We're going to start with the Bengals on the road at Baltimore. Baltimore is a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under set at 46. Reagan, which side are you backing in this one?
I am on the side of Cincinnati to win
Let's go, baby. Come on.
and cover, obviously. What are you on?
This is a,
That's what I'm saying.
it's a
This
tough
is a weird
one
one
for
for
me
you.
because I got the Ravens over. I predicted them to win division, go 12-5.
You kind of need
preseason.
Cincinnati here because if they lose
But-
again, can't win the Super Bowl if they don't make the playoffs.
I do have money on the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. So I'm going to back the Bengals as well, Reagan, on a short week. However, something that makes me nervous is the fact that Lamar is 7-1 against the Bengals in his career straight up.
Wow.
That's not a good sign. And Baltimore's at home, so
Dude, Cincinnati needs this
but
bad.
it's a huge game for Cincinnati, man. Huge
Yes,
game, even without
because
T. Higgins.
Lost year, division's definitely done, and playoffs is definitely in question.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
then they dropped
man.
to 5-5.
Absolutely, and it's going
Or,
to be tough.
wait,
But
are they? They're 5-4 right now, right?
yes.
So they dropped to 5-5.
I mean, this is a team that can go on a heater and win 6-7 in a row.
But I mean, if they go to
they've
5-5,
done
they're
it.
in the same
We've seen it.
situation Buffalo's in.
Yes, you have minimal room for error. So
Yes.
this is a huge game for them, and I am gonna back the Bengals, Reagan. I think their defense is gonna play well. I don't anticipate it being a high scoring game, but I think Joe Burrow and the boys can get it done in this one.
I agree with you on that. They're going to have to, man. We need a big Joe Burrow game. Job, Jamar, Tyler?
Tyler?
No T. So they're going to have to get it done, man. They're going to have to stop that run game because the Ravens have been running on everybody.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Need a big defensive game. Trey Hendrickson's got to get the pressure. Can't let Lamar get out of the pocket and make those unscheduled throws.
I like it. All right. Next, the Bears are at the Lions. Lions are 8-point favorites. Over-under set at 48. The return of Justin Fields. Reagan, is that going to be enough for the Bears to cover in this one?
No, it's not. I think the Lions roll here, man. I'm so done with this Bears team, man. Their offense looks trash. Yeah, Fields will make it better, but the defense, even if Fields puts up 20 points, the Lions are still going to put up 40.
Yeah,
I definitely think the Lions get close to 40 again this week.
The Bears allow nearly 300 yards per game on the road. They've been getting exposed. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 straight games of 100 yards. I think that streak continues here, Reagan. I mean, Jalen Johnson's a good corner, but Amon-Ra works all over the line of scrimmage. He's in the slot a lot. So, I mean, Jalen Johnson, I doubt, is going to shadow him. And honestly, I think Amon-Ra is just matchup proof. So I think he goes over 100 yards again. I think Montgomery scores. I think Gibbs scores. I think this offense explodes for 35-plus in this one. And the Bears, with the return of Justin Fields, just don't have enough firepower to keep up.
Yeah, well, I mean, clearly it's working well with Montgomery and Gibbs in that first game back from Montgomery. I mean, that seems to be a good recipe for this team to win. Obviously, it's been all season running the ball, and if they can get them both involved or they're both pushing 100 yards on the ground, it's going to be tough to stop this team.
It's a scary offense, and
yes,
Jameson Williams hasn't even gotten going. That now it's to the point where okay, is he just going to be a gadget type player that they selected?
There's also a big
draft,
bounce back spot for their defense because allowing they almost lost that game last week.
The Bears don't have Justin Herbert or Keenan Allen, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's a good bounce back spot for them.
Yeah.
Get right game.
Yeah, and Fields.
Do what you're supposed to do.
We'll see. Fields is probably going to be a little rusty, but him and DJ Moore built a great connection before Fields got hurt, so maybe DJ Moore has another big game.
Yeah, he's going to need it.
This quarterback back.
He's going to need it.
All right, next, Arizona at Houston, a game preseason when you looked at it, we're like, oh, that's an ugly game, but hey, it's a fun one with Kyler Murray back and the way C.J. Stroud's playing.
Yeah, this is my upset pick of the week. Arizona winning.
Yes. The Texans are 5-point favorites at home, and Reagan's taking the Cardinals straight up.
This Cardinals offense looked completely different with the Kyler coming back as well as James Conner. I mean, the run game alone was lacking without James Conner, but also adding Kyler, he's a lot better than Josh Dobbs. Granted, Josh Dobbs has looked sick for the Vikings, but we didn't see that Josh Dobbs in Arizona. And Clayton Tune, obviously, that experience didn't go too well. So, I'm very excited with that, and I just feel like a lot of people are going to be bought into all the C.J. Stroud hype and the Texans super high on him. And I think we see the Texans team come back down to earth because there's no way Stroud's going to do that every week, what he did last week. I think we see closer to what we saw against the Panthers than we did closer to what we saw against the Bengals. But I do think it's close and high scoring. Love the over in this one.
Yeah, so I have Houston still winning. I do have Arizona covering, though. But I initially had Houston as my survivor pick this week because I don't really have a lot of good options.
Yeah, which isn't ideal because there's a lot of 10-point spreads this week.
So I did switch it. I am going Buffalo. But, yeah, because I was nervous. Mostly because when you beat a team like the Bengals like that, the way they did, and 2 game-winning drives in a row for C.J. Stroud, it just screams letdown. It just
coming back down to earth, yeah.
Letdown.
Yep.
And that's what made me nervous about it. I'm still picking them to win here, but I'm not confident enough to take it in Survivor Pool.
Nor should you be.
At the end of the day, I just still think that this Arizona defense is pathetic, and I think Stroud's going to, come back down to earth potentially, but still not even to the highest degree. I still think he has a really good game.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to throw 5 touchdowns. I don't think he's going to throw for nearly 500 yards, but I still think he throw for 300 yards and a couple scores. Kyler being back.
So maybe a parlay leg for you. 300 yards. You're expecting a big game.
Yeah, well, this Arizona secondary is just, they can't cover a brick wall. So, I'm still going to lean Houston, but I do think with Kyler Murray back and James Conner that they can keep it within 5.
What about Noah Brown? A lot of people probably are asking what they should do with him in fantasy. Back-to-back weeks of over 100 yards.
Dude, it's weird because...
And way over 100 yards. It's not like he's just scratching it.
No, I know. It's just... Is Nico Collins back is a big question, because if Nico Collins is back, you got to start him at flex or even wide receiver 2. Tank Dell, you got to start Tank Dell. And then Noah Brown's been going off too. It's just... I don't know. 2 of the 3 could pop off. Maybe one of them has an okay game, but the way Stroud's slinging it, man, I don't think it's a bad choice. I think you could start all of them this week, especially if you have buys.
I would. Just keep playing these guys till they prove you can't play them. They seem to be matchup proof at this point.
Chargers, 3-point favorites on the road at Green Bay. The over-under set at 44. I'm backing the Chargers straight up and against the spread. The offense has started to click. They hung 39 on Detroit last week. I just have faith in Justin Herbert. Plus, I mean, I took him to make the playoffs and have over 9.5. So
yeah, you don't want to be in that dog cage.
I'm not going to.
You don't want to be in that dog cage.
I'm not going to take Green Bay to beat them. I also just don't trust Jordan Love at all. The Green Bay defense has not lived up to expectations. The offensive line's beat up, hasn't been able to protect Love. Aaron Jones has been getting back on track, so against the Chargers defense, has been susceptible against the run. Potentially Jones has a good game, but I'm excited to see Jair Alexander matched up with Keenan Allen, though.
Yeah, if he plays. I mean, he didn't play last week, but so you hope he's back because it would be a sick matchup to watch.
It would be a sick. I mean, if he's not playing, though, then better for my Chargers.
I mean, as of now, I'm leaning the Packers. This is one I went back and forth on. I had him spreading against the money line just because to me that line seemed like it should be higher, so it made me question it a little bit. Granted, I know the Chargers only have 4 wins right now, so it's not like they're this crazy team, but on paper they seem a lot better. But when I saw they were only 3-point underdogs. Obviously, a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're home, but I was like, something's off on this.
There is something about Green Bay, though, playing in Lambeau. It is a home field advantage that you actually put some merit into.
Yes, and also I just feel like it's got, like, I don't know. I really just don't. I'm not very confident in this pick. I'm going to be honest. I really don't like either of these teams right now. Like, yeah, the Chargers are fun to watch and can put up points, but, like, they're not winning football games.
I agree. No, I mean it's a tough one to pick for sure.
It's a 4-win team against a 3-win team. It's an ugly game.
Yeah. Next, Dallas, 10-point favorites on the road at Carolina. The over/under set at 42.5. I'm back in Dallas here all the way. I think they win by 21 plus. What have they done all year? Beat the absolute piss out of bad teams, and this defense is going to get after the quarterback, and they're going to turn the ball over. And what has Bryce Young done all year? Thrown a lot of picks, and that offensive line has really struggled to protect him. So I expect Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence to really feast on that Carolina front. Yeah. I think Bryce Young is going to struggle in this one. I think he might throw up to 3 picks.
Maybe a parlay leg?
And I think CeeDee Lamb, I mean, it could be. I think J.C. Horn was activated. I don't know if he's going to be back for this game. But
they could certainly use a guy like that.
Gone for 150 plus 3 games in a row. If no J.C. Horn's out there, expect another huge CeeDee Lamb game. And I don't know, man. Maybe Tony Pollard finds the pay dirt this week. Finally,
I think he does. I've been saying it, man.
Come on.
I was trying to get him in a couple leagues today. So I've been saying it. Definitely think there's better days to come from him, and hopefully this is one of them. Now I think Dallas wins, and I think they win pretty convincingly. But I do think the Panthers cover, and the only reason is 10.5 points for a team that's actually doesn't have a lot of major injuries. Like they've been playing with this roster for a while now. At home, that's a lot of points to me. So I'm like, you know what? I'll take it. I'll root for the backdoor cover. But I think Dallas wins this one pretty convincingly. And, like, it may end up being like a 15-point victory. But, like, I think they can just do enough to just cover, like, maybe lose by 10. Like, I think it's going to be one of those ones that comes down to the wire.
All right. Next, the New York Football Giants, led by Tommy DeVito, are at the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are a crazy 9-point spread. At home, the over-under is 37. I low-key love the under.
Dude, this was the hardest game for me to predict when I was doing the spread. I ended up going with Washington because I know the Giants have covered and beat them, like, I don't know how many times in a row.
That's
but
like the one, like the Giants
they
have the
always
Commanders number in
dominate
recent
the
years.
Commanders, and the only reason I went with the Commanders is because I know I was going to rock with the Giants, but last week they just look like a defeated team at this point, the Giants. They just don't look like they have a lot left in the tank, and I don't love it because it's a lot of points, but I'm just going to go with Washington. Until this Giants team with Danny DeVito proves they can play, like, competent game. What I call him?
Danny DeVito.
Oh, no, he's Danny DeVito. Until like, they prove that they can be in a game with him, which I guess they were in it with the Jets, but that was a little different, like, I mean, that was shitty weather, and that was more the defense keeping him in. It had nothing to do with him, clearly. So until they prove that with him under center they can compete, I'm going to fade the Giants spread and money line until then.
So I'm going Commanders money line. I am going Giants to cover. 6 of the last 7 games between these two were decided by 1 score, including a tie last year.
Yeah.
And Saquon has historically played very well against Washington.
Yeah.
And I think it's a low-scoring game. I love the under 37. I think Commanders.
I do too.
I think the Commanders win like 17-10 in this one.
Yeah, the thing that sucks is too, like, this should be a good spot for Saquon, but it's just going to get so much tougher. Like, until DeVito proves he can pass the ball. Like,
did you see the?
He had 70 passing yards last week. Like, how is Saquon supposed to run the ball when they're like, like, what they're going to do?
What's crazy is that everyone knows Saquon's going to run it.
They know what they're doing on first and second down right off the bat.
Saquon's still running the ball well. It's just when you have no passing game, if you get into a 3rd and 6, like, what are you going to do?
Exactly.
Then you can't convert on 3rd down.
And also, like, what happens a couple more games down the season? Like, the guys, they're going to kill him.
No, he's getting so many he's getting the most touches in the league by far since he got back from a high ankle that he wasn't even fully back from.
I feel bad for the guy because he's on the franchise tag right now, so they're killing him, man.
Yeah, it sucks.
It sucks that he isn't already paid. It's like they're doing kind of what happened to Josh Jacobs last year, although Josh Jacobs is still doing well this year now, but
yeah, he's turned it on.
You just hate to see it when these guys get the franchise tag and they give them a ton of work, and then it's like, oh, they got that much more wear and tear on their tires. So
I doubt you saw this because it was floating around on Giants Twitter, but
that I did not.
It was a
can't say I'm on that Twitter.
It was a clip from last week's game against Dallas where it was when Saquon was in the Wildcat and when they were driving, and I was like, we had over 9.5, so we needed him to score. Yeah. And they ran him in the Wildcat with Breida next to him. He high snap, goes up and catches it, brings it down, and it's a counter play. And they stop it. And there is you could drive a fucking bus through this hole, right?
Yeah.
On the counter. But Marcus McKeithen, the right guard, second-year player out of UNC, who they took last year, missed all of last year with torn ACL, came in this year, got playing time early because of all the injuries, and he's fucking terrible. They stop it. Marcus McKeithen is turned around looking at Saquon instead of leading through the hole. Saquon runs into him, only gets 5 yards, but it should have been an easy walk-in 15-yard touchdown run.
Yeah.
And the lineman is looking at Saquon. It was ridiculous. You're like, how are you an NFL offensive lineman? And you're literally blocking your own ball carrier.
Yeah, man, it's just going to be so tough.
And that's when they went for it on 4th and 2 and didn't get it, and we were like, fuck.
Yeah.
Brutal, man. Fucking brutal, man. This team pisses me off. All right, let's move on.
Oh, really?
The Raiders on the road at Miami. Miami's a 13.5-point favorite. When I saw that, I was like, wow, that is a fat spread. I know they're coming off a bye, but the Raiders have won 2 in a row under Antonio Pierce, granted, Giants and Jets, but the over-under is 46.5. I'm going Miami straight up and against the spread. What does Miami do?
They beat bad teams and they beat them bad.
Beat them bad, Reagan. They beat them.
I can't say the Raiders are a bad team.
I think they're bad.
They're
not really bad, but they're bad. They're not really bad, but they're bad.
Miami is my survivor pick this week, but yeah, I'm just gonna. They're off the bye. Like you got to think the Raiders come back down
Devon
to earth
Achan's back
at some point, right? Like the clock struck 12, right? Like the Cinderella story's over. So we'll see, but yeah, I'm leaning Miami to cover and win. I just think they're gonna be too much for the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders' secondary is terrible. I mean,
and Aiden O'Connell really hasn't done a ton yet to really impress me.
He hasn't. I mean, this defense is literally Max Crosby
and you saw what happened when they just played the Jets. Like Max Crosby was shut down. Like the Jets' offense is not the Miami Dolphin offense. Like your defense can look good even with Max Crosby being shut down. Like what happens when the Dolphins just throw all their protection at him? Who's going to step up and make a play and stop Tua, Tyreek Hill, and all those guys?
No, yeah, I think this Miami offense, I wouldn't be surprised if they hang 40. I think 30 is definitely going to happen.
Yeah,
I'm fairly confident they score 30.
Yeah, I could see it being like 35
to 10.
Yeah, 35-10 works for me.
You like
Book
that?
Book it. Parlay leg?
Sprinkle?
Huh? Parlay leg?
Parlay leg. Exact score, 35 to 10.
Little plus 24,000 odds boost right there.
Yeah, no.
Get that shit juicy.
Get that shit juicy. All right, next, Steelers on the road.
We might have to bet it because this is going to be a funny-ass clip if that happens.
I'll throw $5 on
it. I might have to.
Steelers on the road at Cleveland. Cleveland's a 1-point favorite at home even without Deshaun Watson and DTR starting. My goodness, Reagan. The over-under is 33 points, and I love the under.
Yeah. I'm in an over-under pool, and I took the under as well. It's just like both of these offenses are going to be so bad. It's just,
so bad, dude. This is going to be a 6-3 game.
It just seems like a game that's going to be 3-0 at halftime.
Dude, absolutely.
I'm not sure on what side I'm leaning. I wasn't sure who I was going to take, and then with the DTR news, I took the Steelers just because, DTR has one career start and didn't look good in it, so I'll go with the team that's not playing with a rookie quarterback in his second career start.
I got the Steelers as well. I am curious to see if this is the week that they actually gain more yards than their opponent, because
it's definitely a good opportunity to.
They're playing DTR and the Browns, but then again, the Browns defense has been top 3 in the league this year, so I don't really think Kenny Pickett's going to move the ball very well either, and I don't think Jalen Warren and Najee Harris. I don't know if Jalen Warren and Najee Harris can have the same success on the ground against this caliber defense.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
I mean, this is an ugly matchup. I'm going to go with the Steelers just because, I don't know, it's DTR.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
got
mean?
the Steelers as well.
Let's see what DTR's got.
Yeah, prove it first.
All right, the last game of our 1 o'clock slate, Reagan. Your Titans are on the road at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a 7-point favorite. The over-under is set at 40. Where are you going on this one?
Well, I'm kind of waving the white flag on this Titans. I do think they cover because I really don't believe in this Jaguars team, but I think they're good enough to beat a bad team in Tennessee. Like, the Titans are bad. Will Levis, a lot of potential there, but I think this Titans team's cooked at this point. It's all about developing Levis and looking towards next year and getting a lot of those bad contracts off the books.
Yeah, they're an aging ball club. I am going Jacksonville straight up, and I actually am taking the Titans to cover as well. It's just, it's a divisional game.
And Levis we trust?
Levis we trust? I mean, Lawrence...
Sprinkle a little money line?
Lawrence hasn't taken that big step that I
No,
anticipated.
man, he's having a...
Like, I thought he was going to be like a top 5 caliber quarterback this year, but he really hasn't
you can make a case he's not even top 10 right now.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't played up to that standard, but Jacksonville's defense has played really well, so I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I think Tennessee can keep it close enough with Levis. And I just don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to hang 30. I think it's going to be a close one, even if it's a backdoor cover.
Yeah, no. I mean, it should be interesting, especially like another aspect. Division game, you're giving me 7 points. I'll take it.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's take a quick break, and we'll get back with the later window. Howdy, folks. I got a message for you. That message is Worst Manhattan. The best Manhattans out there on the market right now. We love it. It's one of our favorite things to enjoy on Sunday, Monday, Thursday Night Football, you name it. We're having a glass, watching the game, and enjoying ourselves. So make sure you try it out. It's the best. All right, guys, welcome back in. We're going to get right into the 4 p.m. slate. Who do we got first, Colin? What's our first matchup?
The Bucs are at the Niners. Niners 12-point favorites. Over under 41.5. I'm rocking with San Fran straight up and against the spread. Tampa Bay is 31st in the league in running the football, and the Niners stuff the run they're top 5 at stuffing the run in the league. So this game is in Baker Mayfield's hands, and although I love my boy Baker, I don't think he can get it done against this team. And with Trent Williams back and Deebo Samuel back, this offense looked back to normal last week against Jacksonville.
This is also going to be interesting because this is one of the best run-stopping defenses versus one of the best rushing offenses. So what's going to give here also? I think what gives is the 49ers I think what gives is the Tampa Bay run defense.
Yeah,
because I loved what I saw. I loved what I saw from for fantasy he is. Like he might not have a ton of rushing yards in this game, but he's still going to have a great week because all it needs is a touchdown or two and some receiving work.
I'm saying he's matchup-proof on the ground. I think he has a good game no matter what.
I can't say I agree on that. I wouldn't be shocked if his under hit on rushing yards this week, but he's still...
I don't know the line, but I think he's...
I don't either, but if it's going to be like 60 or 70, and I would lean on the side of the under for the rushing ability. But either way, I don't think it matters. If they can't run the ball, they're just going to pass it. Like, when you have that many weapons, I don't think they're going to be able to stop them. I think the 49ers come close to covering the 41.5 by themselves on the over-under.
You think they're going to hang in the 30s, huh?
Oh, I think they'll definitely hang in the 30s. And I you know what I mean? Like, I loved what I saw from them last week. I think they're back in this Bucs team, man. Like, they really don't have any signature wins yet this season. Like, yeah, they have a couple wins, but they're not really beating anybody. They haven't really impressed me at all. I just think they're outmatched in this.
I agree. I think Niners win by 17. All right, next, your Jets at the Bills. Bills are 7-point favorites at home. The over-under, 39.5. I'm going Buffalo straight up and against the spread as I mentioned earlier. This is
that's gonna piss me off.
Survivor pool pick. Everyone's bashing the Bills right now, as you mentioned. They're minus 225
both teams are getting bashed
the playoffs.
right now.
They are, but the Jets.
These are the two most bashed teams right now.
The Jets just can't score a touchdown, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets covered the 7. Like, that sketches me out, but
that's a lot of points.
I don't think that the Jets go 2-0 this season against Buffalo. They beat Buffalo at home week 1 when Rodgers went down, and that was a crazy game that, honestly...
And that one hit the under.
Yeah. This one's at Buffalo, so I do think the Bills get back on track and get a win here, although I don't think it's going to be a sexy win. I don't think it's a blow-up by any stretch of the means.
No, I think it's going to be very close. What fan would I be if I didn't say the Jets are winning this? I mean, come on now. But yeah, no, I think if we lose this, I think it's I'm going to be joining you guys and start looking at mock drafts and see who we're going to be rooting for. It's going to be a weird shift, you know?
It is. Because you're dreaming for Aaron Rodgers to come back in December, and then it's, we're talking draft pick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still wouldn't if he wants to come back, let him come back, but it's not going to matter. If we get to 4-6, which is crazy to say, because normally it's like 4-6, like, you're not dead, but, like, the AFC is just too loaded this year.
I agree. Okay.
So, and I think the only way we win is we continue to do what we normally do to Josh Allen, and that's just make him look like a bad quarterback.
Yeah, he's not been good against the Giants.
Got to get Brees going early.
I think he's got it's either 10 touchdowns to 9 picks or 9 touchdowns to 10 picks.
It's got to be damn near close to even. Yeah, like what you said, it's got to be.
Yeah, it's either 10 to 9 or 9 to 10.
Because, dude, when's the last time you saw him play good? The past 3 matchups, like the 2 last year and the 1 this year, he looked bad in every single game.
Well, maybe with no Ken Dorsey, he looks good. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, I'd imagine he's the problem for why he throws double coverage picks.
Next, Seattle's only a 1-point favorite on the road at the Rams, and it's not even known if Stafford's going to be back this week. The over-under is 46. I'm going with Seattle straight up and against the spread.
Hey, me too.
As I said, we don't know if Stafford's going to be back. If it's Carson Wentz, I feel really good about Seattle in this one because we know what Wentz is. But at the end of the day, I don't think the Rams' offensive or defensive fronts are good enough to hang with Seattle in this one.
And hey, Seattle's defensive front is just getting better. I mean, Leonard Williams is just going to be
week 1,
more.
the Rams did beat the hell out of.
That's another reason why I like Seattle. That's why I like Seattle more, and that's also why I like Seattle more because they're not going to be like underestimating the Rams. Like they know what this team is. It's a division game. I just can't see them losing both to the Rams this year. Like I think Seattle's going to come in pissed off and beat them bad, and I think Gino has to have a big game, and this is a spot where he can have a good game. We've seen him struggle a lot this year, so. I think it's another game for him to build off of last week against Washington.
Yeah, the legend of Puka Nacua began against Seattle in Week 1.
That is true.
How will they adjust in this one? And now
especially because Cup's there too,
Kupp as well. So it'll be interesting to see.
Also, like Thanksgiving night, that 8:00 game is the 49ers versus Seattle game or versus Seahawks. So that could be a battle between 2 7-3 teams.
That'd be pretty dope. I'd like
dope.
that. I'd like that.
We've been lacking on some good primetime football.
Yep. Next, Minnesota with Joshua Dobbs are at the Denver Broncos. Denver's a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is 42.5. Reagan, you backing Josh Dobbs or are you backing this new-look defense for Denver?
I am backing Denver. I think something's got to give here because both teams have been way too hot. So I'm backing Denver. I think I trust Denver's defense more than I trust Josh Dobbs. Like I'm honestly, I don't want to say I'm a Vikings hater, but I just can't see this team continue to have the success they've had. Like Denver makes more sense because they're doing it on more of a team scale. It's not one person picking everyone else up. Granted, it'll help to get Jettis back, but who's he going to go against? Pat Surtain. It's not like he's going against a terrible corner. So should be interesting. That's a matchup I can't wait to watch, is seeing him shadow Jettis.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm also rocking with Denver. Joshua Dobbs is a fun story, but we know who he is. You know, I mean, he's been a spark plug player the past 2 weeks, but he's not a starting caliber NFL quarterback in my mind. And Denver's defense, as we mentioned earlier, against Kansas City and Buffalo, has played really well. So I'd imagine they'd have better luck against Josh Dobbs than Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. And honestly, Russell Wilson has not even been playing that bad. Like, last year he was brutal. This year, I mean, he's been playing solid football. You know, he's far from their issue. So I think Denver wins this one. I don't know, 21-17. I'll give you.
All right.
Last but not least,
Big bet of the week,
Philly
too.
at KC, the Super Bowl rematch. I mean, we know as a fact we're going to see Taylor Swift with Donna Kelsey up in the press box. It's going to happen. KC's a 2.5-point favorite at home.
I thought Taylor Swift's still on tour. Isn't she on tour?
Is she on tour?
No, our family's going to be there at the game.
Oh, shit.
Taylor Swift's family's going to be there?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the Kelsey, obviously.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I'm going with the Chiefs, baby.
I'm going with the Eagles, baby. I'm
And
rocking with
that is
Kelsey.
our big bet of the week.
The Kelsey Bowl.
The Kelsey Bowl. What is our punishment?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Shit.
We were talking about it before. Maybe we might just have to do the bowling one that Jared suggested.
You want to do the bowling one?
Yeah, but we're going to have to set the line lower. Like
190 is tough, man. 190 is tough. I can tell you right now, I've never even done it, but I've gotten like a 180. You have. I don't even think you've gotten close to a 190.
Nah, I'm like, I think my best is like.
I think we have to set.
I think my best is like a 130.
All right, what about 190 but gutter? Like we have the
Gutter
we
would
can't.
be funny as shit.
I don't think they let you use gutters once you're above a certain age at Oakwood Lanes.
No, you
So
can.
shave your facial hair.
I had them up last time I was
You
there.
did it?
Yeah, because I didn't want to go up to the lady and tell her to take them down, so I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to stick
What
with
if we
it.
did separate lines? Like, what if it was 190 for me? Because I've never done it, but I've gotten close. And what if yours was like 160?
That works. I mean, this is going to be a tough one to film.
Handicap on
This is going to be a tough one to film. Like, maybe we just got to do something for one, like, thing of golf. Or, not golf, one.
No, you could film, because we could just film like we did for the golf. With the...
Yeah, but if we do 10 games.
Yeah, you just take clips, bro.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, fine.
We'll do it.
All right.
We'll do. Jared's the fucking punishment king, so we're gonna do the bowling.
Yeah, more details to come on that when we have the full details squared away. But
Now, if I pull a 190 my first game and you pull a 1160 the next game, then we're just having fun bowling. It's not really a punishment.
Yeah, that's
but,
true.
You know, that's why
Yeah.
we're setting lofty goals.
Line is at plus 2.5.
Are we doing gutters are down? Like the,
Yeah, gutters are down. We're playing for real.
unless
We're
they
playing
happen
for
to
real.
be up, then you play with the cards you're dealt with.
Yeah. You play with the cards you're dealt with.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna tell her to put the gutters down if they're up.
I like it though. It's gonna be a fun one for sure. So why are you backing the Eagles in this one, Reagan?
I think this means a lot more to Philly than it does to Kansas City. Like, don't forget they lost to them in the Super Bowl last year. You know how
I think everyone forgot that.
fuck you. But yes, now yes.
I thought Philly won.
Hey,
Yeah.
in case you forgot, the Eagles and Chiefs played the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, for those of you, I mean,
For those of you listening that didn't watch the game,
maybe for those of you out there that just listened in to hear about the Taylor Swift Bowl, I also think it means a lot more to Jason because he secretly wants to be with Taylor, but that's a discussion for another day.
no, he's got a wife. He's fine.
It's gonna be a Kelsey Glaze fest though.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it totally is.
maybe we'll just change it to like over/under amount of times like Swift. The name Taylor Swift is said.
If you
Or
go,
just Swift.
I'll
in
take
general.
over 66 and a half.
If it's just Swift in general, it's gonna be like really high.
Yeah, that's true because we get some
Good
DeAndre
point.
Swift in there.
DeAndre.
But
You
yeah,
never answered my question why you're backing the Eagles. You said, in case you forgot, they played the Super Bowl last year.
yes. So obviously both teams are coming off the bye week, so that doesn't matter in this. But
Then
I
why
like
don't
what
you say
I
it?
can I please say my point?
Yeah, go ahead.
I like what I've been seeing from the Philadelphia defense. They're starting to click a little bit more. I know Jalen Hurts has had a knee injury, and it's definitely been lingering, but I think that week off is going to be huge for the recovery process. Honestly, man, like this Chiefs offense just hasn't looked the same that we've seen in the past couple of years. Honestly, most of Mahomes' career, this is probably one of his worst seasons, even though it's still like top 5 season, but this offense just hasn't been the same, so.
Yeah, but the
think it's
pick up for
close.
that slack has been the defense has played at a level that it
something's
has
gotta
not
give.
in the Mahomes era.
Because the Eagles' offense is really good, one of the best, and the Chiefs right now, like, they have one of the best defenses in the league at this point. So what's going to give? I'm leaning on the side of the Chiefs' defense bends.
Yeah, this is
and
gonna,
breaks.
I think it's going to come down to who gets the ball last type of thing. I have faith in Mahomes in Arrowhead to get the job done. But I mean, obviously this is a coin flip, man. It's a fun
Yeah.
game. I'm happy that we just ended up on opposite sides because it's a fun game to be against each other on. But give me Mahomes in Arrowhead. Kelsey, big game with Taylor up there against his brother. I just think the Chiefs got the Eagles' number, man. I think they get him again.
Dave just texted me. Need to come pick up microphones in 30. So I don't think we're gonna give him the Drock. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, you're not getting him, Drake.
Sorry. They're gonna be covered in pumpkin pie because that is what's up next. We're gonna be
Oh,
filming
my
it now.
Goodness, I forgot.
Yeah, well, I was getting hungry. I was thinking about what I was going to eat for dinner, and then I hit, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds good." And then it hit me. I'm like, "Well, I'm about to eat a pumpkin pie, so that sounds like we're good for dinner." But that will be out on social media later in the week.
What did your dad make for dinner?
I don't even know. I don't know if it matters at this
It
point.
doesn't matter. You're not gonna.
I don't know if I want to know because if
You're
it's something
not gonna
good, I'm
be
going to be
hungry
pissed off
for
and be
it.
like, "Damn."
I'll eat your plate for him. So it doesn't
Oh, that
matter.
works. Yeah. You hear that, Dad? Joe will take the plate. So.
All right, guys, that wraps up the pod. We're about to go watch Reagan eat a pumpkin pie in under 5 minutes.
Yeah, hopefully I can do it.
Be sure to check that out on YouTube at the end of the week. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Thanks, Mac Jones. Thank you.
Who's Mac Jones?
The guy that's making me
He's
eat the
the
pumpkin
reason
pie
why
because he
he's
sucks at quarterback.
Oh, yeah. I was like,
What do you mean? Who's Mac Jones?
Yeah.
I was like, what did I say that had to do with Mac Jones?
Who is Mac Jones?
Who is
I'm like, what?
Mac Jones?
You go,
On
"Thanks,
this week's
Mac Jones." Like, are you
around-
calling me Mac Jones?
Next year, a
What
lot
is
of
it?
people are going to be asking that too. 'cause
Who's
it's not
that?
gonna be
Who's
in the
Mac
league.
Jones?
Oh, Mac Jones, yeah. All right, guys, but that wraps it up. See you next week.